Hey guys, Kent with Zamplo here, wanting to make a quick video for you to show a enhancement or upgrade that we've made to one of our more popular features, which is the Customizable Pricing Tool. This tool is available at the basic level plans and higher, so if you have this tool and you're already using it, this is going to make it a lot quicker when you're doing comping and trying to be exact on the areas that you want. And if you don't have this tool yet, and it seems like something that'd be of value to you, reach out to me and I'd be happy to talk about it and kind of show you in a one-on-one format if you'd like. But let's dive into it. So why the comping tool is used in the first place is because when it comes to comping land, we can't just go ahead and comp by acreage alone. We really need to be comping it by the purpose of the land, the different nuances and variances of the land. And a 2-acre parcel that has, electricity at the road and water already there, and maybe there was already a perk test done and it's buildable, is going to be a lot different than a 2-acre parcel that's on a dirt road and doesn't have any of those things available. So you have to keep that in mind that sure, these things might just be miles apart sometime, but you can't just go in and say, yeah, that's a 2-acre parcel in the same county, even in the same zip code. You got to be a little bit more exact. So let's take a look at this area in Mojave County around Golden Valley. I mean, you could say that this is its own little pocket and it's going to be drastically different than maybe the Kingman area and the area over here in this like Willow Valley, Mojave Valley. That looks like it's a lot more, I'm seeing crop circles and farmland and things like that. But even in this area right here, there's probably a couple of different markets and things like that. And so when we zoom in, we're going to kind of come a little bit closer. We're going to see upwards this way. You can see a lot more structures and houses and things like that. And the other thing that I can do right here too is I can turn on this parcel class filter, and that's going to show me where there's a lot of like residential things versus the vacant things. So everything lighting up with that green is a residential thing, and that's also a new filter or a new feature as well. And that's something that's on the basic plans and higher. So as we come down a little bit lower, you're going to notice that that green and that density gets a lot more sparse, essentially. And if we're looking in here, I mean, even if you don't have that on alone, it's just there's not as many structures, whether they're manufactured homes, houses, whatever the case be, a little bit lower in this area. So if I came in and just drew one big shape all around this Golden Valley area, I'd be trying to answer the question of the price of these things and these things down here when using the comping tool. So I like to be a little bit more exact with the area. For now, just to kind of serve the example, I'm going to go into this area where there's not as many things nearby. And so let's go ahead and draw our shape. And obviously there's a lot of activity in terms of comps here as well. So we have our shape right here. We zoom out, we're further away from kind of where there's a lot more residential things going on. I'm going to come into here, I'm going to save this shape, and I'm going to call it Golden Valley 1. I'll press save, and then when I go to actions and export these parcels, it's going to give me a count of the parcels, of course. I'm going to run it through maybe one of my queries to match it up with how many of those things are actually in my buy box. And then when I hit continue, I'll get to this page. And when I go to export parcels, I'm at the last page where we get to decide how we want to export that data, but we also get access to the customizable pricing tool if we have it. So if we go into the customizable pricing tool, previously it would just give us a radius, and sometimes the radius that's fine. It's things within the circle are probably going to be alike, but if you want to be absolutely sure that the things that you are pulling in your comps are as apples to apples as possible, by being focused on that area and not kind of spreading your kind of search too big, comping is going to become a lot easier because you're only answering the question of what the 2-acre parcel is like in this area. And so if we come in here and we say, okay, maybe I'll remove county and realtor, and rather than the radius, I can come in here and draw a shape, or I can go load the shape that I just drew and apply it there, and I can say that's where we want to be pulling our comps from, only in that area. So I load that shape, and now I'm only getting that area, and I probably don't even have to do as much kind of adjusting as I would have previously, where I go through those comps and remove things. If that area is kind of apples to apples area where all of the kind of purpose of those parcels and the characteristics are very similar. If there's not utilities set up there in those areas or whatever the case is, then that's, easier for me. Now, if I'm not mailing, the 45, 29 acre parcels, I can go remove that and get this trend line here. And everything's kind of hanging out around this median line, which is nice. And then I can apply that pricing to the parcel, and that's what it's going to use to help come up with the market value, which I can then base my offer on. So again, on the pricing tool though, still, you could go through any of these and hover over it and decide if you're going to include them in your actual comps. So when you what I like to do is I go and see what the price per acre is, and then I'll scroll to that area, open it up, and just make sure there's nothing there that stands out that, I might want to remove, like something that I notice that is a unique variable or nuance about that parcel. So that's the addition that we've added here. Now, the other thing that we can do is at the Zamplo map, whenever we are pricing one specific parcel. So this area here, I've used it before as an example, but one thing that just looking at it alone that you might not know is Highline Road is where the electricity ends. So things that are close to Highline Road or above Highline Road has power. Things down below further here, like any of these kind of houses you see, if you get close, you'll see kind of the solar panels, and so they are on solar. It's just kind of a different market. So if I'm considering buying maybe this parcel right here, when I go to the pricing tool, it's going to take me in right here. And as you can see, this radius, sure, it's everything's really close, but it's pulling in things that are just way higher than what I'm going to be wanting. And I could go in here and quickly just adjust it myself or remove these things. But if I go to the filter page, once again, I can come over here, and rather than loading a shape, I'm just going to draw the shape. So I want to stay away from kind of north of, close to Highline Road and north of Highline Road. And I'm going to draw maybe my comps like over in this area right here of where I want to pull them from. And then when I load these, I'm getting rid of everything in that area. And then, of course, I can go through here, and if I want to, take a look at things and organize it by when they were sold, it's got the 5 most recent things here right now. But if I wanted to kind of continue to go through this, I could have a bit of a closer look at all of these and decide, if that's similar to the thing that I'm looking to buy. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find what's the purpose of my land, and I'm trying to match the same purpose of these other comps and things like that to help me come up with a real-time estimate. So a small addition, but I think it's something that's going to make us move even faster than we already were when we're comping for a specific parcel, doing due diligence on, or when you are comping a entire list that you're getting ready to mail to. Again, the customizable pricing tool is a basic level feature. So if you're not on the basic plan and you have interest in this, reach out to me and we can talk about your options. And as always, feedback, questions, let me know. We're here and happy to help. Have a great day.